Today on Love to Hate, we're going to be crafting our potions using the tooth of an orc, mermaid tears, and dragon scales. It's Mystic Market.
That's what you want for dinner?
All right, so this is Mystic Market on the table. There's the box there. And the way this game is set up, you have your vials of the different ingredients to make potions set on this little rack right here. And you set them in order of the colors of the rainbow. Roy G. Biv, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And the different numbers underneath each of these vials represent their value at that particular time in the game. I'll get back to that here in just one second. The setup is that you flip out 5 of these ingredient cards in a line, and then 5 different potions that you are able to craft on your turn. And then each player also receives 4 cards, which would typically be face down, but for purposes of this video, I'm going to leave them face up. And each player also receives 5 coins. Now, once you do that and you have all the cards dealt out, you're going to take these cards, which are different. There are 6 of them, 1 for each color. What these cards are, first of all, they tell you that whenever they come up at the top of the deck, you are going to take whatever color that card is. So in this case, this would be orange, and you're going to move that color to the front of the rack here. And so how to do that, you would take the one at the front and move it up, and just keep doing this until that color is at the front of the rack. And now orange is now the most valuable at 15, where it started the game at 6. So anyway, that's how those cards work. And what you do with them, you're going to turn them all face down, mix them up, do a better job of mixing them up than I am right now. And you'll draw 3 of them, and you would shuffle them into the deck. Again, much better than I'm doing right now. And they'll come up at some point in the game. And so then you take the other 3 without looking at them and you put them away. Now, the way the game works is on your turn, you are able to do one and only one of the following things. You can buy 1 or 2 cards, you can swap 1 or 2 cards, or you can sell cards. And I'll go over each one of these individually. So the first action that you might do is buy. And so what you're trying to do to make sense of this, each card, each color of card tells you at the bottom how many you need to be able to sell a set for profit. And so in green's case, you need 3. For orange, you need 4. For blue, you only need 2. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make complete sets so that later on I can take the sell action and sell for however much it is at that particular time in the market. And so on my turn, I might say that I want to buy another blue card because I need another one to make a set, and there happens to be 2 in the market right now. And so I look over here and I see where blue is at, and blue is currently in the 8 slot, and underneath both the 8 and 10 are these 2 dots right here. And what that means is it costs 2 coins to be able to buy either a blue or purple card if it's in the market. And so in this case, I am going to pay 2 coins to the supply here, and I will take that blue card, and it goes right there, and then I replace it with a new card. Now, back to this card right here. It tells me that I can buy 1 or 2 cards from the ingredient market or the deck. Now, the thing is, I cannot buy 2 cards from the market. I can only buy 1, and if I'm going to buy a second card, it has to come from the deck. Okay? And when I buy from the deck, it is 2 coins. Okay? Every time. There is a hand limit. You can have only 8 cards. If you go over 8, you have to discard. And so that is the first action that you can do. The second action is swap, and you can swap 1 or 2 cards. And the way that works is I can take any cards that I have that I don't want and exchange them for cards that I may want. And so for instance, I could get rid of this orange and I could take another blue if I wanted to, and I can do up to 2 cards again. So that is the swap action. The third action you might do is sell. And if you look at the card, it says sell full sets for profit or singles for no profit. Well, why on earth would you maybe do singles for no profit? Well, I'll get to that in a second. First, selling full sets for profit. So it takes 2 blue to be able to sell for profit. And so I have a set here and I'm gonna sell both of these blue, and I discard right there. And then I look over here and I look where blue's at, and blue is currently on the 8. And so I would gain 8 coins. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that would come over here to my money. Then I would take blue out of its slot and it goes up to the top. So now blue is the least valuable. And that's how that works. Now, let's say that, let's put blue back down here. Let's say maybe close to the bottom at 12. And I've been carefully watching what my opponent over there has been buying. And let's just pretend that their cards aren't showing right now. And we've noticed that they've been buying a lot of blue. And I happen to have 1 extra blue card here, but I need 2 to be able to sell for a profit. Well, one of the things that I can do is I can sell singles for no profit. So what I would do is I would say, I'm gonna sell this 1 blue here, not make a profit, and what happens? Blue still goes back to the top of the rack here. And so essentially what I have done is cause a problem for my opponent over there, because I knew they were about to sell blue for lots of money, and now I just made it the least valuable. And so that is kind of a take that rule that non-gamers may not like, so keep that in mind. But that is the selling singles for no profit. Now, one of the other things that you can do on your turn is this bottom thing right here that says you may also craft potions, okay? Now, that is not an action. That is something you can do for free on your turn in addition to your normal action. And what that's talking about, it's talking about these potion cards up here at the top, okay? Now, if you'll look, I'll take this one, for example. If you look here, it has a cost on the left side of the card. And this one costs a blue and a purple. And if you have both of those, you could discard them to the discard pile right there and claim this potion. And it will give you an ability at the bottom as well as a profit right now here. Now this particular one doesn't give you an ability. It just simply says redeem this card for profit and you will gain 15 coins. That's pretty nice. Some of the other ones are different. This one says you can steal coins totaling a value of 5 from an opponent. So again, this is kind of a rule that non-gamers may not like because you could steal their coins. There's other potions here that let you steal cards. And so that is something to keep in mind. You do gain a profit of 6 when you make this. And so when you take these cards, you immediately get the profit, you hold on to the card, and you can play it at any time for the ability at the bottom of the card. And so you will continue to do this, taking turns around the table until this deck right here runs out. And when it runs out and there's not any more cards to fill the market, the game is over, and whoever has the most money is the winner. Okay, so here we are with Mystic Market on the table. It's me and Sam and our son playing a 3-player game here. And we're just going to share some of our thoughts on the game. For me, I really enjoy the educational aspect to Mystic Market. I wasn't really expecting this from such a small little game, but it really does pack in a good lesson to be learned about the market. The old adage of buy low, sell high, that definitely rings true in this game. That's basically the main mechanic of the game. And that you definitely want to make sure that the ingredients you're buying are cheap and that you hold on to them until that ingredient becomes more valuable, and then you sell what you have and make lots of money. I think the little ingredient rack that holds all the vials is very unique. It's definitely fun, and it's satisfying to pick up those vials and move them. And, once you've sold it, you get to pick it up and put it at the top and watch all the other vials roll down. I don't know, there's just something satisfying about that. So those are some of the things that I enjoyed about the game. How about you, Sam?
I think my favorite part of the game was that from reading the instructions to the end of the game, it was less than 45 minutes. And I think that's a really good time frame for a game. It gets it to where you can play a game, do something with the family, but still move on with the rest of your night. It didn't take up hours. It was very easy to understand. I didn't have to have the instructions repeated to me like I typically do with some of the more difficult games. Our 8-year-old got it very quickly. And you could kind of mess with people's turns a little bit. You could tell what people were going for, but it wasn't super...
It doesn't ruin the whole experience for you.
Yeah.
Because,
But there was a competitive aspect to it for sure.
Right. Yeah, it definitely doesn't ruin it because the cards you have in hand are still useful and that you can hold on to them because even though, and I know our son did this to you a couple of times in selling red, when red was at the bottom slot, the most expensive, and you had a lot of red cards in hand. Well, it's going to be pretty quick, when red comes back down again and is more valuable. So it doesn't ruin the whole experience. For me, something about the game that I didn't like, it definitely feels as though you could just be kind of going through the motions at times a little bit on some of your turns. It feels like that... on one turn, you sell things and make lots of money, and then it takes probably 3 or 4 more turns before you get back to that. And so there's a buildup. It's a little bit of a buildup process, and so it kind of feels like a couple of turns get wasted in that. And so that's just one negative that I have about it. How about you?
I kept saying that I really enjoyed it. It was fun, but you just feel like you were missing something. There wasn't a wow factor. It just needed something else to be a little bit more exciting. And I will probably never say this about any other game ever again, but I do feel like it was almost too short. It's like that you were just starting to get the hang of it. You're starting to get money and then it was over. And I will never say that about another game ever again.
I'll never say never. But I do know what you mean. This is definitely a filler game. This is not the type of game that you would bust out and have it be the star of the night as far as a gaming night goes. Definitely going to be one that you would either begin the night with or end the night, or just if you have just 15, 30 minutes to play a quick game, this would be your game to fill in that spot. As far as rating goes, I think I would give this game a solid 7 on a scale of 1 to 10, love to hate. 7 to me feels like a good spot for it because it's definitely a game that I think I'm going to keep. It's one that I will enjoy getting back to the table. There is that satisfaction of holding on to cards till the right moment and playing them for the big money. And getting to pick up that vial and watch all the vials roll down. That's just something that is pretty cool. How about you?
I think I'd give it a 7 overall, and I would give it a 9 for ease of understanding, which is very important in my book.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think we have a winner here, and I think I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask anyway. So, Sam, would you say that this is a game that gamers out there should go out and buy and play with their non-gamer friends?
Yes, I think it's a good gateway game.
All right, good deal. We have a winner. Okay, guys, so if you think Mystic Market would be good for your non-gamer friends, check out the link in the description below and purchase it and try it out at your next game night. Until next time, this has been Love to Hate.